All right, I think mute is off now. Hello. If you're here, let me know in the chat and let me know if things are working. This is a new software, so I think everything seems to be working, but we've run down that road before. So I just wanted to start out today talking a little bit about our Model Y. Tomorrow we have, yesterday was our 2 week day, or 2 week of, there's a word for that. Not really anniversary, but, oh, great. Thanks, Todd. So last night was 2 weeks of owning the Model Y, and so far it's been fantastic. And got about a half-hour video coming out tomorrow on the little paint issue we had, and then also I did the 8-hour driving test that I had done in the other cars, where I drive down toward Des Moines and come back and see how far the car can go in 8 hours. So that's going to be a little long, but an interesting result. And I think in better weather we can beat it. But in the other tests we had done, it was pretty cold out. So I think this is comparable to that. And hopefully that's going to be an entertaining. It's kind of a twofer. You get the paint issue and then also the road trip, because one of them on their own wasn't enough for a full video. So that's what's coming out tomorrow. Spent today wrapping up the graphics on that and getting it out. Otherwise, I would have posted this live stream much earlier in the day. But, I thought I'd be a father part of the Saturday too. So that's kind of where that ended up. But, so we've had the Model Y now for 2 weeks, and it's really great, but it's more different than I would have expected coming from the Model S. Because there's only one screen, obviously everything's on the center screen. And I've watched so many videos about the Model 3, about the Model Y. I thought I'm going to be able to just get in here and knock out, all the little settings and make sure I had it all set up exactly how I'd want it right away. And it was a little bit of a struggle, maybe because I thought I knew, and so things weren't necessarily where I expected them to be from my memory, where maybe someone coming from scratch would be more apt to be learning that through the tutorials right away. So there were a couple things where I was driving along and I thought, I already, hit that toggle or did something, and then had to, next time I was parked, dig through and find, it's toggle this on, toggle that off. And so even for someone who follows Tesla super closely, switching to the Y was a bit of a learning curve. But a couple things came up. Really, our delivery video has gone over super well, so I'm glad people are seeming to enjoy that for the most part. And even the last road trip video in the S has done pretty well by my video standards, so can't complain there. But there have been a lot of questions about what the differences are, and someone was concerned I didn't really compare the Model 3 with the Model Y on that road trip, or the Model 3 with the Model S on that road trip. But their main concern was road noise. But that Model 3 had winter tires with metal studs in them, so driving just around a parking lot sounded like you were walking with a baseball team with cleats on, everywhere you went. So it really wasn't a comparable noise experience. But the Y has been, I think, much quieter than the S. I don't know how it would compare to a modern Model S, but the Y's got the dual pane glass, and I think some more noise dampening in it. So, and it also doesn't have on the front of the Model S, the front windows have kind of a little corner window. Excuse me. That doesn't roll up and down. It's just kind of in the door, and the weather sealing around that was never quite right on the driver's side, and I'd kind of adjusted it and played with it, tried to get it to, it just seemed, especially when the wind was coming right at the right direction, it would really kind of whistle in through the door. Not whistle exactly, but, it was annoying and distracting. The Model Y doesn't have those pieces, so there's nothing extra to catch the wind, and it seems like the door's all shut nice and tight and solid. So it's, to me, I think it's quieter and rides pretty nice, but it is a very different ride. The S sits fairly low. It's kind of sporty. You kind of sit. Oh, sorry, that was probably loud. You kind of sit back, as you're driving the S. In the Y, it's a little, and it might just be I haven't found the right position yet, but I feel like it's a little more upright. And I used to work at a event production company and would occasionally drive those little 15-foot box trucks with the flat fronts on them. And the Y kind of reminds me of that because you can't see, at least where I'm sitting, you can't see the front of the car or the hood. And so I know it's there, and I leave enough space for it, but I still haven't quite gotten used to how big that is. And it feels like it's non-existent. But I know I'm still holding on to something from the Model S, because when I did that range test, all of those range tests I always lined up on a line in my driveway. And as I was getting ready to do the range test, I pulled the Y up to what I thought was the nose is going to be hanging right over that white line, the start line. And then when I went back and watched the video, it was maybe 1.5 feet back behind it. So, like any new vehicle, it takes a little while to get used to the dimensions and how it's going to fit in the world and as you're driving. But the width, my big beef with the Model S was it always felt like Cadillac wide. And, I never really got super good at parking it because I always felt like it was just hanging out over the lines on either side. And the Y, I think part of it is the height that you can kind of see down on the side as you're parking a little bit easier. But I think that's part of what helps, but also I think it is a couple inches or an inch and something more narrow than the S. So far I'm enjoying that. Excuse me. The back is wider than the front. On the S, you mean? That sounds right. It feels that way. It probably is on the Y, too. It's kind of I don't know, I don't have a problem with the shape of the Y, but it's definitely not as sporty and as attractive as the S and the 3 are. They are definitely, yeah. Sorry, we're on a little bit of a delay, so I got your answer and then it doesn't pop up for a couple seconds. But yeah, like the Y is fine, but it definitely has a family vehicle look to it rather than the sportiness of the S or the 3. But that's fine. We're using it as a family vehicle, and I want it for, camping and road trips, and comfort is the name of the game. But it's still quick. It does the 4.8 seconds to 0 to 60, and I could pay for the acceleration boost, but I'm not going to. At least that's what I'm telling myself now, and what I'm telling my wife now is I'm not going to be doing that. We don't need it. It's plenty fast. We are going to do paint protection film, though, so I'm going to be kind of showing what we're doing there. I know there are a ton of videos already out there about that. And speaking of that, the on the user interface, I know there are videos covering that too, but I might do a series of like Model Y basics and just go over some of the the different idiosyncrasies of getting used to the center screen for the first time, and kind of walk through all the menus. It'll be a boring video for anybody who's seen that stuff, but I feel like if somebody stumbles across the channel and wants to know that and have a walkthrough, and I might even learn something myself as I go through it. So it's probably worth it just for me, even if I don't publish it, to shoot that. One of the things I thought was curious was the Sentry mode. You have your little viewer icon, but then you also have the circle icon. And the circle icon is saying, hey, you're not at home, I'm on. Sentry mode is on. But you can also arm Sentry mode or record a clip through the little viewer icon. And so that was confusing to me, like, why are there two spots to do Sentry mode stuff? And I wonder if that'll change in a future update. I don't know, but I actually had to look that up, and I thought, man, I should know this. I can't believe I'm looking this stuff up, but once I saw that, I was like, oh, that I kind of remember that it is two different things now. And I know it's not the HAL icon now. It's I think a portal image when you're in Sentry mode. I haven't had a chance to really play with Sentry mode. I accidentally got one clip of me getting my daughter out of the car, but haven't had a chance to really play with that yet. I did do Smart Summon, though, and it's very hit or miss, at least so far on my car. I haven't taken it into any really busy parking lots or anything. I tried a couple, but I always summoned it away from traffic. And then I took it out on, I want to say Tuesday of this week, and did maybe 10 attempts in different just city parking lots, and tried to get it to come. And I would say it was really good 50% of the time. And then other times it would get distracted or, confused and not know how to proceed. Yeah, the icon for Sentry might change with version 11, so I'm kind of hesitating to even do that if there's going to be a big update and then all of that's going to change. I guess it's just another week of videos, but you hate to put a bunch of effort into something that's going to be obsolete in 2 weeks. But on the Sentry mode thing, the one time it stopped at a shadow and didn't seem to know how to proceed. A couple times on the app, it was showing my phone in a different location than where I was. And the car would drive to where it thought I was, but I don't know if that's an issue with the GPS on my phone not syncing correctly, or something with the Tesla app not reading it correctly. I do have an update for my phone, a software update, so that might be part of it. But it's when it works and it does it confidently, it is super, super cool. And you can definitely tell, like, this is going to be bonkers once everybody has it and it's working well. So we'll see, if that's going to be another thing that comes with version 11, or when the mysterious button ever shows up, if it ever shows up. We'll see. But lots of fun tests coming by. And then I've also got a little video on accessories. The typical YouTube thing is you get your car and then you have all your sponsored the puddle lights and the interior accent lights and this wrap, that wrap, the dash cap, the rear spoiler, all that stuff. And I don't have any like affiliate links or any no one's sponsoring me to do this, but I thought I might do a video just sharing the things that I thought were like the essential buys, and then a couple nice to haves that think like the nice to haves would be like the game controllers. A couple weeks ago we I don't think I've done a live stream since we got the Y, but that weekend I had it was Saturday night, and I said to my wife, well, let's go out and play with, let's play some beach buggy racing. And so we did that, and that was pretty fun, but we didn't have the controllers at the time, so we kind of took turns in the driver's seat. But 2 players more fun. And then we started playing around with some of the other games and things, and then we got to karaoke. And my wife back in the day loved going to karaoke nights and all that stuff, and she's a very good singer, and so she found that. We started digging in. We were doing stuff from the 40s and hip hop stuff and classic rock stuff, and it time got away from us pretty fast, and it was kind of nice to have like a mini night out. Well, we were at home. My daughter was safe asleep in her room, and we got to just hang out in the car and sing like idiots. And the weather, soundproofing is good enough that we weren't waking our daughter up. We weren't, causing a ruckus for our neighbors, but it was pretty fun. So look forward to doing more of that kind of stuff in the future and exploring that. I have a couple friends who have a video game. They have a radio show, but they have a video game channel as kind of a side thing to their radio show. And I was thinking they don't know really much about, or much of anything about, Teslas or anything. And I thought it would be really cool to have them do like the game reviews sitting in the car and film that. So I'm going to reach out to them and see if that's something they'd like to do. I think that would be really fun. What they do on their channel, it's called the 5 Count Co-op. And they play like old, terrible Nintendo games. And what I love about it is, one of the guys, Dusty, is a guy who was around. He was a friend of my brother's initially, and now we're all friends. But um, it's just like hanging out in high school again, and like they just make fun of each other and make fun of the game, and some of the terrible old games that are in Teslas. I think it would be fun to get their commentary on. So I feel like that would be a really good, a really good kind of crossover episode. I don't know what it would be exactly, but I think it would be a lot of fun. Oh, I did buy a couple Xbox controllers, and so we're all set up now, but I haven't taken a lot of time to go out and play, but um, the games seem really sweet. Todd, did you get MCU2 put in? I know we're on a delay, so it'll take a second for you to hear me say that. I'm going to take a drink in the meantime. So I kind of went on a big tangent there, but um, there's just so much. I think I did, and I tried to film all my summon attempts, um, but I was obviously doing that alone, so it was. I didn't get fantastic shots, or it would be really sweet if I um, went back out and did it with the drone and with like three other people to control cameras, and so I'll have to go through and see what kind of footage I have, and how that Sentry mode video is going to be. If we have a couple nice days this coming week, which I think we will, I might do a few more attempts. It seems to be really good at. It seems like open parking lots kind of confuse it, and when there are other cars around, it can kind of get its bearings a little bit. It knows what to expect. I feel like the most confident times of using summon, it was around other cars, which seems counterintuitive, but I think it gives it some anchor points of like, oh, if other cars are here, I must be able to go here. And maybe just reading blank lines is a little tougher. But when you're filming alone and summoning alone, I hesitate to go into a Target parking lot or somewhere that's got a lot of cars, so it might be really easy for the car, but without a second person to jump in if something goes wrong and get out of the way of. I'm not afraid of it really hitting something. I'm more afraid of blocking up traffic and having everybody swear about Teslas for the rest of the day. So, if I can get a chance to go out with another person or two and do some testing, with some spotters, I think that would be fun too. And it would be cool to do it in a place where we could put the drone up too. So that's kind of long-term thinking. Oh yeah, Todd, if you wanna play with summon, it's fun. Um, so you did have the Model S um, MCU. Oh, your Model S had MCU2 already? Well, if it did, you know all about the games, and if you've got the Xbox controller, I'm sure you've played them all. The Excuse me. I was thinking about talking about some other, like, just general EV news, but um, like I said, I was editing all that stuff today and trying to get that wrapped up, and didn't have a lot of time to gather some other stories. But I wanted to jump on and test out this new software. It seems like it works really well, and it'll give me the opportunity in the future to put in some graphics, or of course it's got the stock terrible sound effects of like the air horn, and I think I even closed that window so I can't even see. But they're terrible, but I might add some different graphics and things, and um, uh, be able to do some screen sharing and stuff. Originally, I was just jumping on YouTube and hitting go, and that worked fine, but I think that was kind of the root of some of the audio issues, and it's really limiting in, excuse me, it's really limiting in what it lets you do. It's basically you're on and go, and that's it. But this software, I had that little intro video. It's probably a little long, but I figured it would give me a chance to get set, and it happened to be the length of the song. So I figured may as well go with that. And I've got all that good B-roll from other road trips and things. So yeah, hoping to do some cool stuff. Like the could I stammer anymore? The Clean Cars Minnesota stuff. It would be cool to do some screenshots, or screen sharing of some of the comments on stuff like that, so you can see what I'm talking about instead of just me looking at my phone like a moron. I'd rather be a moron straight to you. So yeah, the MCU2 was there the whole time. Okay. And Todd, I can't remember. Are you going to? You planning on going to Sound of Silence rally? I keep meaning to sign up for it, and I haven't. We've kind of been waiting to see how COVID stuff shakes out, and I know the hotels are letting you bail at the last minute, which is great, for that security. But I still haven't booked it. I think we're gonna do it. We've got because our daughter has special needs. The children's hospital, Gillette, that she goes to therapy and things through, they said, well, because you're caregivers, you can get in line to get the vaccine. So we're actually going to get it, I don't know if it's a 1 dose or a 2 dose, but we're going in Thursday morning, the 1st. So that will be fantastic. I hope we're not jumping in line in front of anybody, but they had a bunch of appointments open, and rather than let those appointments not be taken, we're going to get it done and just hopefully be in good shape. And then, yeah, we're planning on going to that. That's cool if you're going to be there too. I think you said that on the owners meeting. I should have remembered that, but my mind is cottage cheese lately. But yeah, I think that's going to be fun. It seems like there's going to be a lot of people there, so glad to be having the vaccine before we go out there, especially in South Dakota. But I figured even if there are a lot of people, South Dakota's a big place, so if we need to get distance, we would have that opportunity too. I think we'll probably, because of my daughter's volume level, I think we'll probably be doing something, where it's like individual cabins. I think there are a couple hotel, motel, Holiday Inns, some kind of places that have stuff like that. So that might be to my tomorrow project when I'm not trying to get a live stream up and finish that video edit. But it'll be cool to actually do a real Tesla event with everybody. And oh, you're going Thursday afternoon. That's a good idea. I wonder if my wife could swing that with work. Because the superchargers on the way out there are going to be slammed. Which, I mean, that's part of the fun, is the big convoy of everybody congregating there is going to be the fun. But I also don't want to wait at chargers for an hour because we're going when everybody else is. But I'll see what my wife thinks about that. But unless you have anything else you want to talk about, I'm going to try to do this. Next week is Easter. So I don't know. I'll see about maybe doing it next week too, and putting something up a little earlier and be a little more organized with some topics I want to cover or questions I want to answer for people about the why. And yeah, I think leaving around noon on Thursday. Okay. Yeah, that's probably a good plan. So we'll see. It would be nice to have Friday to just kind of hang out there too and do some exploring on our own before everything gets so crowded. So we will see how that goes. But it's the magical allergy time of year, so that's fantastic. And Todd, I know you're here. I can't tell if anybody else is here, but if you are, thanks for watching. If you watch this later, thanks for watching. Not a lot of meat in this one, but we're testing things out and hopefully getting a little more efficient and fun live streams. I'd love to have people in the I'd love to have people in the comments section. Last time we did this, we had a few people and some good conversation going back and forth and things being brought up. So hopefully we can get that cooking again with a little more notice. I know this was a quick one, but thanks for watching. Have a great day. And look for that video tomorrow about our paint issue and how that process proceeded, and then the range test in the Model Y. It's going to be pretty fantastic. It's another exciting day of me driving to Iowa and back. But I think the result is pretty good, and it kind of shows the difference in, hey Tyler, how's it going? I think you guys are going to Sound of Silence too. Is that correct? Oh, thanks. You have a great night too. So we'll do this again. I'll try to do it next week because I'd like to kind of get in the habit now that I've kind of got a setup, and I will hopefully have a little more, like I said, a little more graphics and presentation to share. That's all right. Better late than never. It's good to have you, even for a couple minutes. How's your back doing? Has that gotten any better over the last couple weeks? I specifically didn't do another live stream just in case you needed more time to recover. How's that for BS? But anyway, I'm waiting for his response to see if he's writing anything. But thank you for watching. Have a great night. And I'll try to do this next week. And like I said, have a little more gathered up and some more stuff to share. So thanks a lot. Have a good one. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.